single year because she's in foster care, because her father abused her. And her mother couldn't believe her. She is the child I am for. I am a volunteer child advocate. I am you.
Florida residents call toll-free 866-341-1425.
Hi, I'm Danny Ramos, and we're here at the opening of the first Hispanic-owned gallery that features only Hispanic artists and features the Hispanic culture. The purpose of this gallery is to promote our culture to our children and our families who in an industrialized or a technology society tend to lose their roots. This is the only gallery of its kind in the state of Florida. There's nothing else like it. And we've initiated this. We've also initiated a relationship with Havana, Cuba. We have 16 artists in Havana, Cuba that will be exhibiting here as well in our next expansion. We have been working with our contact in Havana, and he has been organizing the artists in Havana, and we got our first shipment of paintings is supposed to be here on Monday. And it took us a while to get that. But getting back to Orlando, this is a permanent gallery. It's the only permanent cultural gallery in the Hispanic community. Despite the fact there's over 400,000 Hispanics in Orange County, this is the only Hispanic cultural effort by government in Orange County. So we're really proud of what we're doing here. The artists are all engaged, and the art is for sale in order to enhance the living of artists so they can continue to promote their arts and be a permanent fixture without having to go out and get jobs, and so they can paint as a living, as part of their living. And our goal is to continue this. It's going to grow, and we have markets that we'll be selling our art to. We are only open one day a week here. It's on Saturday, and we are at OBT at the Motor Trend building. But again, we only are going to be open up on Saturdays. And the reason for that is that we are going to be in meetings for the other 5 days a week, selling and communicating the arts to corporate America.
And why is it important for Hispanic artists to promote and show our culture to the world and capture that culture?
Well, you know, the culture of the Hispanic community is very rich, and in industrialized societies and highly technology societies, what happens is people tend to lose their roots, and Hispanics cling to their roots. They cling to their food, they cling to their families. They're extremely large family oriented. They're the only population in positive growth in the United States is the Hispanic community. So this is part of maintaining the culture for their children and their children's children. And this is what our goal is with this. We want to allow students to come here from the high schools to get a reflection of the Hispanic culture and keep them in touch with their own origins. And if you come in here, you're going to see paintings that reflect the very beginning, which is the Taino culture and the Taino civilization. And that was really the beginning of the Hispanic culture in the Western Hemisphere, the Tainos. And we have paintings here that reflect the Taino culture and the Taino nation. And then when you walk into the gallery, what you're going to see is paintings that reflect the Taino lifestyle, and then the result of those paintings is found in all the different styles of the artists that go beyond that particular painting. So when you walk into the gallery, the first painting that you see is the origin, and the origin is the Taino nation. Okay. Thank you. Got a great opening and really fabulous artists here, the best Hispanic artists in the state. And this is a big step for the Hispanic community because there's not one cultural center for the Hispanic community in Orange County. Not one. Despite the hundreds of millions, but billions of dollars that come into Central Florida, not one penny is spent on the Hispanic community, which is another issue completely separate from the gallery that we are addressing through an organization called the Hispanic Arts Coalition that's addressing that issue politically. But tonight we're here to open the first Hispanic Cultural Center. We're going to expand it into that side. We have tremendous talent that's never been showcased together, which we're doing now. And the purpose is we want, our generations of kids have not been getting exposed to our arts because the government hasn't been funding it. So we decided to create a gallery so that schools can come down here and bring their kids to see their culture, their origins. Now, you see the first painting, the idea that we did here was that the first painting when you come in here is the painting of the Taino Nation, and that's where we come from, the Taino Nation. And that painting was done by Maria Ramos and Mr. Sanchez, who's only, oh, there he is. Jose Sanchez. They did it as a collaborative. It took a year to paint. It's absolutely beautiful. It's a museum piece, but most of the pieces here are quality museum pieces anyway. So the idea was that when you come in here, you look at the origin, and then that origin explodes into color and creativity of all the different Hispanic nations and the Hispanic mentality of the different artists that communicate to us through their visual arts. Now here's something really interesting. We have been, Janet and Jesse and I have been talking to Cuba now for about 3-4 months. And we've gotten the approval. There are 16 artists that are coming out of Cuba that are going to exhibit here. And we're going to try to use that space over there. We got the paintings out of Cuba after more than 2 months of effort to get a special stamp that has to be stamped for them to bring that artwork out. That exhibition is going to be called Lost Generations, which is reflective of the lost generations under the dictatorship of Castro. And artists, when you look at their art, you see that they communicate their emotions as a result of their paintings. So they don't have free speech. They really don't have free speech, but they have the communication of their arts. And we're going to bring those arts here, and they're going to be an exhibit here, and so that the Cuban community sees what's been going on here, because we really don't know. But when you look at the Cuban artists, they communicate their lifestyle and what's happened in Cuba. So that's really something big for us that nobody's ever done before historically. And this gallery, nobody's ever done before either. This is the first one, and we're all proud of it. So we're going to do a little ribbon cutting, okay? And this is Luis Martinez, and he is kind of like the director of cultural, multicultural, at City of Orlando. He is a rising star in our political community. This guy is going to be it. Senator, congressman, mayor, he's got a lot of choices, okay? So when the time comes, I'm going to be behind him, and I hope everybody's behind him, because this guy is really, really clean. He's really clean as a whistle. All right, so Luis, we're going to cut this, okay? Maria, where's Maria Ramos? Maria. Paint the Taino culture in all its forms because it represents a lost civilization, where it's a little television for them. There's no, if you look on the internet, you see these little sketches and stuff, but she has the capacity, the unique capacity to capture the Tainos, the way they lived, and romanticize it a little bit to make it beautiful. So I try to get her and say, no, you gotta do it. I'm still in that fight. And this guy is our senior painter, been around for a long time, fighting the wars, So Pedro is an extraordinary painter. Now, one of the things that we're doing here is we're communicating that if you buy the right kind of art, you're going to hang it in your living room, but why should you buy art that doesn't gain value? So, we are an investment gallery, okay? When the paintings that we put here are because they're going to grow in value, so that when somebody buys them, they're making a good long-term investment. This is Cynthia Harris, by the way, and I want you to welcome her. She's running for office. She's a real friend of the Hispanic community. Come on over here. You got to cut that.
You're right.
You come up here with Luis. We all can't be up here, but you know, it's like, you know. But if I get all the painters, let's see. Luis, Kelvin, Julio,
Delphi.
Melvin, Delphi. Oh God.
Venga,
¿Quién nos falta? ¿Quién más?
Los chiquitos adelante también.
All right. The only Hispanic gallery north of Miami-Dade. That means 66 counties don't have anything that's Hispanic in the arts. Okay, it is crazy.
Va para acá para que se vea. Un poquito los chiquitos al frente. Okay.
1, 2. Everybody go into the gallery.